Recorded live in Jacksonville, Florida. This is Trivial Warfare. More than just a pub quiz, Trivial Warfare is your gateway to a worldwide trivia community. Join your hosts, Jonathan.
We just described Ric Flair as Neanderthal Man and Planet of the Apes.
Chris.
Yo, we going down to Sesame Street.
That's your impression of hardcore rap?
Carmela.
That would irritate the hell out. I'm like, I just want my groceries. My ice cream is melting.
Ben.
4 halogens in that list. Oh my God.
You were like, it's not the halogens. I'm like, no, Ben, no.
Those damn halogens got me again.
And the rest of the Trivial Warfare Army for another week of fun and games. Now here's your host, Jonathan Oakes.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Trivial Warfare. We are the podcast that takes the pub quiz out of the pub and brings it home to you. My name is Jonathan, and I am here today with Erin Barkley. Hello, Erin.
Hello, Jonathan.
I am here today with Nick Groves. Hello, Nick.
How come whenever we have multiple hosts on a show, I go last?
You
never introduced me first.
Is it true?
Yes.
Are you sure?
I'm like 90% sure. It's something I noticed, 30 episodes ago, and I've just been half paying attention to it. And I thought now would be a good time to bring it up. I love
that. I love that because I do have to think and make a conscious decision.
Yes.
And I consciously choose, and I think to myself, I've probably chosen Nick too often, and I need to choose the other person.
Right. Yeah. And in reality, I don't believe I've ever gone first.
The gut instinct is there's always too much Nick.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's literally
I get that.
Literally, in my mind, I'm like, right. I'm sure that I've always gone Nick, and people are probably irritated. I should go. It happens. I don't know if you notice, but I intentionally try and switch up whose name I say first inside of teams. Like when I'm hosting or doing something like that, I'll say, okay, Nick and Kelly, what did you think? And then 2 minutes later, okay, Kelly and Nick, what did you think? Because I don't want it to be this person getting priority.
And on the gauntlet, I do the same thing. I'll name an entire person, right? It's like Nick and Kelly, Kelly and Nick, Nick and Kelly, Kelly, what did you have on that answer? Mm-hmm. Right? I want you to talk. Because you haven't been talking
this entire game.
Yeah, you got me. Yeah, no, I'll make a note of that and promptly file
and
it
intentionally put me last for the rest of time.
Promptly file it in the gray bin on my floor. All right, so we have some amazing guests today. In fact, we have a couple with us today, and so of course we're going to put them against each other. Kellie McClure is with us today. Hello, Kelly.
Hi, guys.
Bryan McClure is with us today. Hello, Bryan.
Hey, everyone. How you doing?
Fantastic. All right, so I want to get to know both of you a little bit better. Actually, I know both of you pretty well. I want everybody else to get to know both of you a little bit better. So, Kelly, tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
So we live outside of Raleigh, North Carolina in Garner. I am an application product manager for a major med tech company. Pretty boring, very corporate job. But something fun about me, thanks to my wonderful partner here, Bryan, I spent the last 2 weeks turning our spare bedroom into a library. So my childhood dream of wanting my very own in-home library has come true, and it's now also my office. So I get to spend every day surrounded by books.
Yay.
I cannot tell you how much I love that. It's so good. I remember doing the exact same thing in my house a few years back when I was redecorating during COVID. It's like, this dining room, I think it could be a library. And it became my favorite room in the house from then on out. It was, I totally get it. Well, thank you for being here. And Bryan, I see that your shirt says nice essay. Nice essay. Nice essay. Wonderful. You should have another shirt that says nice beep face, and just people won't know how to take it. It's perfect.
I bought him that shirt.
Did you?
I did.
Lovely. Yep. Tell everybody where you're from, which is probably the same place, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
Yeah.
outside Raleigh, work for the same med company that Kelly does, except I work in field service engineering. I go around to various hospitals and fix chemistry analyzers. That's how we met. Something interesting. Last time I was on, I was talked about the two other directors that I had been working through of Hitchcock and Carpenter. And I'm proud of this feat of this last Tuesday. I did the Mel Brooks library, all 11 movies, but I did all 11 movies in one day, 17 and a half hours.
Did you reach out to Guinness to see if that was a world record?
No, I did not. I'm guessing it's probably not. Somebody's probably been up for like all 24 hours to make the record, but I'm happy with 11. I don't think I can ever do 11 again. That was it's pretty mind-numbing at the end.
I was watching you do it. Like you were posting every movie and I was catching them and I was like, High Anxiety. I've never watched High Anxiety. I don't even know that movie.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, and let me say, at that late in the day, being that punch drunk, Dracula, Dead and Loving It, is not any better. It is still a horrible movie. So.
Oh my God. Yeah, you might have needed to adjust your own chemical levels for that one.
Yeah, it was part of the discussion going into it. I was like, I wonder if this movie is funnier being that tired and just where anything's kind of funny. And no, it wasn't. I was just like, please let this be over with.
All right, that's fantastic.
As you were posting, like, I'm watching this movie, and I'm like, I kind of want him to be streaming it so that like I can log in and watch some of the movie with him. Right? Like, oh, we're doing Spaceballs? I'm in. Oh, Young Frankenstein? I'm still in. Oh, we're doing, Dracula Dead and Loving It? I'll see you in a couple hours.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Now, me being a lover of complete physical media, I guess I could stream with a computer and you could watch it, but yeah, it's all...
Right. No, you do the Mystery Science Theater 3000, where you have the streaming camera behind you and it's in the back of your head.
And you're
watching the
over
movies as you're talking over it. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we are going to have a fantastic time today, and we're going to get started right now with Warm It Up, Chris.
It's time to warm it up on Trivial Warfare today. And there's only one person who can warm it up for the TWA, and that's Chris. And sometimes Jonathan.
Yay. So I talk about this a lot on the show, but when I write trivia, I like to have something on in the background for company, just like something making noise like a roommate, so I'm not sitting here in silence. And as a consequence, I have burned through so many reality shows, like every cake decorating show, every, lousy dating show. So what I'm going to do is give you the name of a reality show that I have probably watched some of while writing trivia, and you're going to tell me what network it appears on. For the ones that are in syndication on streaming platforms, for example, I want the network that it airs on originally, not where it ends up in syndication. Jonathan is shaking his head and making a face. Mm-hmm. I like it.
That's just my natural reaction to trying to know what network anything comes on.
Mm-hmm. That's what makes it fun.
I haven't known that since the 90s.
Right. I had to look almost all of these up because I just watched them on whatever streaming platform they end up on. So.
Right.
Erin's like, this is too hard for me. Let's see how you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
My gut instinct tells me that there's a preponderance of one network versus any of the others, but I could be wrong.
I tried to spread these out. We shall see how it goes. And we're going to start with Kelly. I'm going to give you a bit of a softball to get us going. You get Survivor.
See, you say a softball, but I hate reality television. Like cooking shows, all of it. I won't watch it. So this is going to be fun.
I was going to say, I'm not a huge fan of reality in general. Like,
yes, I do my very best to not
avoid
it as much as possible.
Now, interesting. So, Kelly, we're in different generations. Did you grow up watching network TV shows like on networks at all, or was it already shifting? Okay, you did.
I mean, she's not 12.
No, but
there's lots of people who haven't.
We lived in the middle of nowhere, so all we had was ABC, NBC, and Fox.
Okay.
We had 3 channels when I was a kid.
You didn't? Okay, you didn't have CBS then?
No.
Whoa!
CBS
all right.
Didn't come in where we lived.
Wow.
That is the middle of nowhere.
But I think Survivor was CBS. That's
it was and is CBS.
Good job.
Yay.
They just did season 45, didn't they?
They're in the middle of it. Yeah. Bryan, you get Naked and Afraid. The Nick Grove story.
I'm never afraid.
I think it's one of the like three that are always grouped together. I think that's Discovery.
It is Discovery. Nick, you get blown away.
The Weather Channel?
Jim Cantori?
The Jim Cantori story.
What is blown away?
I'm assuming it's like a weather-based reality show, like chasing down like tornadoes or something.
Like a bomb diffusing show.
Oh, no. It is none of those things. It is a glass-blowing reality show that is on Netflix.
Oh, it's on Netflix. Yeah.
Yes, what I just said.
Yeah, I've seen it. I haven't watched the show, but I've seen the ads for it on Netflix.
As opposed to Blown Away on the Penthouse channel.
Right, yeah. There's actually 17 different shows called Blown Away on 17 different networks.
All right, Jonathan, you get Face Off.
Face Off. This is a familiar name. I
movie?
think this was the name. Yeah, well, it's that, but I think it was the name of maybe where they had people who were good, like movie artists, essentially creating special effect version or non-special effect, practical effect costumes, which was really freaking cool. If that is the right show. And that, what the hell channel did that come on? A&E?
It was a very special channel.
No, that didn't help. I'm clueless this morning.
I know the answer, and that doesn't help me either.
All right, what was the...
If it's what I was thinking, with that was a great hint, Nick.
Yeah,
what do you think it is?
FX?
FX.
No.
Oh, okay.
It is not. It was on the Sci-Fi Network.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And I think
is it the show I was thinking of?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a cool show. I liked that.
It's super cool, and a bunch of new episodes just dropped on Netflix. That's what I was watching while I was waiting for you guys to log on. So check that out.
I might.
Kelly, back to you. Going to give you Dancing with the Stars.
Ooh, Dancing with the Stars, I think is ABC.
Well, yes, I'll give you ABC. It is now on Disney Plus, but it was on ABC. So in instances like that, I will give you all points, credit, whatever we get in this warm-up game. Bryan, you get Project Runway.
Oh, I think, is that Bravo?
It is Bravo. It was Lifetime, and now it is Bravo. Yay.
Bravissimo.
It was originally
Nice
Bravo,
job.
wasn't it?
I think it was originally Lifetime, and then it went to Bravo, and it might be somewhere else now. I might have anyway.
I watched every single episode for the first 4 or 5 seasons until it shifted networks. I think it was originally because it was like Top Chef and then Project Runway. They were like back to back.
Well, Top Chef was never on Lifetime.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah, I thought Bravo was first.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I had them backwards. Well, okay, so here's the thing. It was Bravo from 2004 to 2008, Lifetime from 2009 to 2017, and now it's back to Bravo since 2019.
Yeah.
So,
except they got rid of Tim Gunn, so what's the point?
What's the point? Yeah.
Yeah.
They got rid of Tim Gunn. He was my favorite part.
Yeah.
They got rid of Heidi Klum, too, didn't they? Like, the hosts are all
Heidi
new.
Klum didn't make the shift to Lifetime. She was gone early, and then...
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
What can I say? Make it work.
Great show.
Yeah. Okay. Nick, do you know anything about The Masked Singer?
I know that it's a show. I believe it's on Fox. That seems like a Fox show. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know who the peacock is. I saw a TikTok clip of the peacock reveal recently.
Cool. Who is it?
Donny Osmond.
Oh.
He did wonderfully. He was superb.
I'm sure he did. Interesting. I've never watched an episode of that show.
I haven't either, but I am really wondering why not. I think I just don't like reality show formats because it's like 20 minutes of content covered in 40 minutes of I don't care. But I would probably be interested if I could just have the content.
That's why I do other things when I'm watching them, because I just want the content.
Yeah.
Jonathan, as long as we're talking to you, tell me what network Love is Blind is on.
I literally have no idea. I think this is a dating show where you're not allowed to see people or something like that, which basically is the dating game. Dating game? Love Connection, one of those. Anyway, I don't know. Let's say Lifetime.
Nope. It's on Netflix.
Oh,
it's a Netflix original property.
Is it really?
Yeah. And it's trash and it's wonderful. It's one of my favorite things. You've got people in pods. They go on dates. They can't see each other. They propose. They go to Mexico. Hilarity ensues. It's really...
They propose?
Yeah. No, they propose before they've ever seen the person. And then they meet face to face for the first time and everyone is like, oh my God, they're so much more attractive than I imagined, which statistically is not always true, but they always say it. And then they go on vacation and get to know each other better. And it's pretty great if you're into that sort of thing, which I very much am.
It seems like they could have an absolute hit with a sequel show or a spinoff show of the breakups of these people after like a year, like track the relationship and then have a breakup show. I think that would be the more interesting show.
Yeah,
that's what the reunion show is for.
Yeah, 100% of those shows on every single season result in failed marriages or no marriages. Wow. Like they either never get engaged or they eventually get divorced.
Yep. Which, I mean, as a divorce attorney, I'm here for it. More of this, please.
I don't know how you deal with it all day at work and then come home and watch it on TV. Like, you must really love your job.
Potential clients.
Yeah.
I don't normally get the backstory, right? I don't get the whole, like, we met and fell in love story. I just get she left and she took the router, and this case is never going to be over until I get my $400 back for the router that she took when she left without telling me.
The router?
Who pays $400 for a router?
She took my internet.
He bought a new router and has paid me so much more than $400 telling me about this router. Anyway, Kelly, you get the chase.
Oh, my God.
The chase. That's a trivia one. I should know that one. Bryan watches it, too.
We've had people who listen to the show.
I know.
Multiple. Jeffrey Seguritan was on
Jeffrey
the chase.
Seguritan's been on it, and I watched his episode, and I have no idea what network it's on. I'm going to say Hulu. Sure.
No, I would have accepted either Game Show Network or ABC. It originated on GSN and then went to ABC. Bryan, you get the Kardashians.
Oh.
Is that like all of the Kardashians, or is it just Keeping Up With?
The show is called The Kardashians.
So, Bryan, it's not Keeping Up With. It is just the Kardashians.
Right. And I feel like the only one I can say is Keeping Up With. And maybe they're all on the same network. I don't know. We'll go with E.
That's a network I forgot existed.
I thought that's where Keeping Up started with.
Maybe.
Right. They're all Ryan Seacrest shows. Like, he produces all of them.
I believe you. The answer is Hulu. That is a Hulu original property. I had also forgotten.
Oh, is Keeping Up with the Kardashians also Hulu, or is that like Bravo or something, or E?
I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like that one was TLC or something.
It's on Peacock, so it had to be an NBC property. Not originally NBC, but one of the... No, I know.
There's lots of things on Peacock that are not NBC properties.
Are there? I thought they were all NBC proproperties in one way or another.
Series is not an NBC property, and it's on Peacock.
Series premiered on E in 2007.
That sounds right.
Yeah. 20 seasons, 14 years.
Wow. Huh.
That's too long.
It was created by Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah.
All right, for Nick, a show that has not had 14 seasons is F-Boy Island.
Oh, God.
Don't get mad just because they've rejected your applications.
They didn't. I turned them down.
Seems unlikely.
It's on. No, hold on. We just did a round. We just did a question about this. It's we did a matching round, which was match the show to the network.
You think you'd be better at this?
You should be good at this.
Well, I don't write or play my games.
Well, that explains a lot.
Must be nice.
It's incredibly nice. I highly recommend it. 10 out of 10 stars.
I also fit in this category now that I think about it. No, I do play. I do play. That's that.
Right.
Now.
Oh, I heard that on a recent episode of Trivial Warfare. Oh, I don't listen to that show. I think it's the CW.
It is the CW. Yes. Nice job. The third season is the CW. The first two seasons were on HBO Max or just Max. So good job. Jonathan, how about The Amazing Race?
Okay, this is network. This is not Fox. This was the competitor to Survivor, but did it come on the same channel as Survivor? I think it does. So my memory of when Survivor came out, it was like the year 2000, and I was big into fantasy football, and I used to go to BW3s with the guys in my league, and lots of us would watch games together and go crazy, and we'd get nonstop advertisements within that first few years for three shows: Survivor, Big Bang Theory, and I think Amazing Race. So I'm going to say CBS.
It is CBS.
Hell yeah.
Yay. They're back to back now. Kelly, tell me about RuPaul's Drag Race.
That's a really good question. I've never seen an episode.
Hmm.
Although it's totally up there in the things that I probably would watch. I'm going to guess TLC.
Alas, no. It started on Logo, and now it's on MTV.
MTV exists?
Yeah, surprise.
Yeah. Whoa.
It's just not music anymore.
Yeah,
well,
it
that's
hasn't
been true since 1995.
Mm-hmm. Brian, how about The Voice?
Oh, The Voice is, I think that's NBC.
It is NBC.
Good job.
Nick, Finding Magic Mike.
How come it's CBS, NBC, CBS, and then I get...
She is giving you the ones that you applied for, obviously.
Right, F-Boy Island, Finding Magic Mike. You're doing good here.
Blown away.
I don't have the body for that anymore. It's going to be a stupid network. It's going to be... It's going to be a Bravo or an E or a... Is it one of the streaming platforms? It's one of the streaming platforms. Is it Hulu? Is it Netflix? You've already done Netflix. You've already done...
Maybe it's Amazon Prime.
Peacock. It's not Amazon.
Could be Tubi.
So I was looking up... Where was I? I was rewatching The Newsroom. And it was on the ads before I searched for The Newsroom to find it, which means it's on HBO Max, Go, whatever the current HBO app is.
I'm frustrated that you got there. It is Max.
Oh, good job.
Nice.
I thought for sure you were going to answer Crackle.
Tubi.
Chive TV.
Yeah.
So before I hit Jonathan, do you want to go around again after this, or do you want to end here?
No, let's end it here.
All right, cool. Then you get Pimp My Ride.
Pimp My Ride. That sounds like MTV.
Rest in peace, Exhibit.
Did he die?
I think so. If not, I just want him to have a restful sleep.
Don't think he died. Did he?
I thought he did.
I thought he died a few years ago, like in Miami or something, right?
Man.
Didn't he get shot?
Nope. He might have gotten shot, but he is not dead yet. He's 49.
DMX died. Maybe
I knew
DMX died. I thought Exhibit died too.
I don't know. Anyway, it was MTV, and that was warming up, Chris.
Woo! I'm glad I got one right at the end because I sure as heck felt dumb throughout the middle. All right, guys. Well, this is going to be a fantastic show. This is going to be episode number 454. That means you are on the main feed this week, and I want to let you know that you can have more Trivial Warfare if you want it, and why wouldn't you? You just need to go to trivialwarfarearmy.com and sign up as a sergeant or higher in order to get access to all of our old shows. One other thing that I want you to know about is that our trivia calendars are available and have shipped now. So the Everyday Q&A trivia calendar for 2024 is out. Brian is holding a copy of that beautiful blue box. Has some good-looking people on the back of it, too, but inside, you're going to find the best damn trivia calendar page a day that has ever existed. You should get yours now at triviacalendar.com. All right, today's matchup. It's going to be Kelly and Nick versus Jonathan and Brian. Erin is hosting, and it's time to play the game.
Players. Oh, yeah. Y'all know what time it is. This is Mr. Literature himself, cordially inviting you to the game. This is 6 rounds of trivia goodness. 3 questions per round. Every right answer gets you 10 points. In the middle, we'll take a pause for the cause and ask a midpoint question worth up to 20 juicy points. After round 6, you can wager any or all those points you've been building up and take a shot at the final round. It's a series of theme-based questions we call the Gauntlet. It's just that easy, baby. But this game ain't gonna play itself, players. Let's get it on.
This is the first time that Brian and I are going head-to-head in trivia. We have never played against
each
one
other?
Wow.
Not on a podcast. We have in Trivial Pursuit, but that was it.
I was going to say, you guys have a very different relationship than Sarah and I, because whenever there's something competitive, Sarah's like, Nick is on the other team. Like,
why does she do that?
I do have a question, though. Is this like a 2 against 1 since Kelly and Nick are the same person?
Yeah.
I almost announced them as Kelly and Kelly, just for fun.
We are one person. If it weren't for the fact that I'm also so much like his wife, Yes. It's just the Groves as a couple is me as an individual person.
That is horrifying, honestly. I don't know that I would be bragging about this.
Okay, round one, question one, category is historical jams. With vocals recorded in the 1970s, a guitar track from 1995, and additional parts recorded in 2022, Now and Then is being billed as the last song by what band?
Yes, I agree. Let's lock in.
Yeah, I was almost 100% sure on that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay,
All right.
Kelly and Nick?
This was something that was pretty quick. We're still talking about it, but I think we're there. Will Dennison will not shut up. He won't stop talking.
What does that have to do with this question, Nick?
I don't know. Because the correct answer is Saved by the Bell, the New Year's. No.
You sure it's not intense?
It's so intense. Yeah, it's a new Beatles song, and that's why so many different parts from so many different years and so many different pieces. So it's I believe it's the last Beatles song.
Okay. And Bryan and Jonathan?
If he wouldn't have shouted out Will Dennison, I was going to, because it's the Beatles.
It is the Beatles, and apparently the music video is trash. I have not watched it, but that's what all the internet seems to think.
Wow.
So, all right, starting y'all easy. Round one, question two. Category is the internet. What content provider introduced in October of 23 a play something button for some users? Unlike just following suggested content, this will show a user a random piece of content, which means your borderline racist cousin is now 83% more likely to be a fully radicalized white supremacist by Christmas.
Could you paste that in the chat, please?
Yeah.
Just the end part. I don't need the beginning.
I mean, I don't have knowledge of the situation, so if you want to do that, and that was the first thing that I guessed at, we can go with it.
Yeah, I'm there with you, Jonathan.
All right, let's go ahead and guess that. We can lock in.
Yeah, I'm torn between Twitter, X, whatever it's called now, because that feels like a radicalization platform now, versus YouTube, because YouTube, you would play a video, not play a tweet.
Right. So if it's Twitter and you hit the play now button, what happens?
It shows you a random tweet, but that's not playing.
That's not playing a random tweet, unless it's a video tweet. Is that a thing? Is a video tweet a thing? You can have videos in tweets now, can't you? I don't know. I don't use Twitter.
I don't either.
Nobody does. It's X now. Haven't you been paying attention?
I try not to as much as possible.
Fair. Give me an answer at some point.
YouTube.
I think YouTube makes more sense because it's videos. So if you play something, plus YouTube is owned by Google. Google has the I'm feeling lucky button. It feels like a similar scenario. Yeah. So, all right, we'll lock in with YouTube.
Okay. Bryan and Jonathan?
Yeah, it's funny when Google did an A/B test and replaced some people's I'm feeling lucky button with a get lucky button, the usage really increased. It was impressive.
Through the roof.
I mean, that's
just from my computer.
It's not a true story. Not a true story, but it would be funny if it was true. Yeah, Netflix has always had a just play something button. And so I at first went there, but in terms of playing, Bryan and I both didn't have a good answer, and YouTube seemed like the obvious guessing point, so we guessed YouTube.
Okay. Behind the Bastards did a whole episode a couple years ago about the algorithm on this platform and how if you watched a video and you looked at the suggested videos on the right-hand side and you just kind of clicked on one, it was a very, very short series of steps before you were getting straight-up white nationalist propaganda. And the point he was making is that using YouTube may lead you to becoming a Nazi. So we need to be more mindful about what we consume. And now YouTube has made it easier for people to get radicalized by generating random content for users. But that is the answer.
Wow.
Yeah, but it makes them 0.06% more money. So
that's true too. Yeah. I mean, that's totally worth it.
That sounds like a lot of money, honestly.
It probably is a lot of money.
Yeah. All right. Round one, question three category is if you understand this question, you may be old. In
I'm
1970,
Advantage.
Dang it.
When I did this one live, and you'll see why in a second, I read it and I could find the Gen Z younger millennial people because they just stared at me like I was speaking gibberish. In 1974, the song Benny and the Jets was released as the A-side to what other song? That B-side was re-released 23 years later with a few minor changes as a double A-side with Something About the Way You Look Tonight.
Are we going to lock in or are we going to make them do it?
Oh.
I swear, this chat is just trying to make me sound like a pirate. And Var explains, not and that explains, and Var explains. Bryan, I think I want to lock it in.
Okay.
Right.
I'm fine with you. It's just that one little piece I thought. Everything else you're saying is I agree with.
All right. We'll go ahead and lock in.
Great.
All right. Great. We had an instantaneous answer.
Yeah, pretty instant get.
I mean,
for
I
me.
did too, but I just wanted to double check, and Bryan types slow.
He's got a hole in his head.
Yeah.
Break.
Does it go all the way to China? It's a Cyndi Lauper lyric from the late 80s. Forgive me.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just going to reinforce the fact that I'm the youngest one here.
Yeah.
Got it. But that's fine because the math in this question, I was told there would be no math, but this math is good math because I was a very impressionable young person in 1997 at 8 years old, and I remember it's one of the first big news stories that I remember when Princess Diana died. And Elton John rewrote Candle in the Wind for her instead of Marilyn.
Yeah, so, yep. Hopefully that B-side was this.
So if you knew it instantaneously, why did you wait to lock in?
Because when you type on your phone, you use a different part of your brain than when you talk out loud, and you're not going to be able to Jonathan your way into it while typing on your phone.
Nick, if you extend this game by 10 minutes for game theory, I'm going to fire you. Please don't.
That's exactly what we were saying in the chat.
You're not going to win or lose based on whether or not you make me lock in verbally or text-wise.
We literally said in the chat, this is a terrible plan that will ruin the quality of the show.
Yes.
And we should not be doing that. It was.
I hate to agree with him, Jonathan, but I've made this comment to Kelly that if we ever want to beat Jonathan, don't let him talk out loud.
Yeah. I think I've said this on the show.
Yes, I've said this on the show. However, I don't want to be here for 4 hours.
Did you guys give your answer yet?
No, we haven't had a chance to.
Okay,
yeah, we said the same thing of Candle in the Wind. I just thought that it was earlier in the 90s when she died. I didn't think it was 97 because that was
so. I think
that was my senior year in
95.
college. I thought it was earlier.
Freshman year of college. First week I was in the dorm. It was like September 3rd or something, September 9th. It was first week of September.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, for me, even if the dates don't line up perfectly, the 23 years apart with slight changes, it seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind. So that's what we locked in with.
Yep, it is Candle in the Wind. And I remember it was 96, 97. I was 12, 13. And I remember my mom waking me up to give me the news because it was a Saturday. And I was like, I have no idea who that is. And I don't know why you woke me up. Yes, Mom, I'm a child. But yeah, the answer is Candle in the Wind.
I was not a child, and I also did not care.
I was way off base. It was not the first week of September 1997. It was August 31st.
That's horrible. See, I just threw everything off.
Yeah, way off base.
Yeah, see, I was starting my senior year in college. That's just, I thought it was so much earlier than that.
Nope. All right, after the first round, teams are tied 30-30. This is an auspicious start going into round 2. Category is Cheaters Never Prosper.
Disagree.
Put your phone away, Nick. Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin both got caught manipulating their kids' SAT scores to get them into better schools. I don't know what those scores were, but if I took the SAT today, what would a perfect score be?
You like that?
Yeah, I think since that's what we were both thinking, let's go with that.
We'll lock in.
When I took it, it was 1,600.
I never took it.
Yes. When I took it, it was 1,600. And then when my brother took it, like 9 years later, it was 2,400. Like they added another section, another 800 points possible. But then I think they reverted it back to 1,600 in the last 6 or 7 years or so. So I think it went up and then it came back down. So I think 1,600 is the right answer.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
Jonathan and Bryan.
Everything that Nick just said is what we said.
Yeah.
I literally said, I think it was 16 when I took it. I think it went to 24, and I think they changed it back. So we locked in with 1,600.
Okay. This is one of the few questions that I actually paid attention to who was playing the episode because you guys don't have kids that are old enough to be thinking about it yet, but you're all far enough past it that you might not be aware. But you all got it right. It is 1,600. They added a writing section briefly, and then they were like, this is awful. So they took it away. It's back to 16.
Yeah.
Shows what you know, Erin. Sarah's son just took it last weekend.
No.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the
Okay,
ages
fair.
covered.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, Jonathan, chastising me for ruining the quality of the show and then immediately responding the next question with "We said what they said."
But I elaborated. I elaborated and said the same things you said again.
Does it help that the only time I took the SAT, I was in the 6th grade?
Did you not
How
take
did
the
you
SAT
do?
either? What's wrong with the South?
Wait. How did you do?
Okay. I grew up in Michigan, dude.
Well, I was from Tennessee, but I took it at Duke. And honestly, I don't remember how I did in the 6th grade. It was so long ago. I took the ACT to get in college. That's what they
That
required.
makes sense. Okay.
But honestly, I don't remember what I did on the SAT. It was it was too many careers ago.
Yeah, a 6th grader. That seems unfair.
What did you do on the SATs, Jonathan? I bet Erin has the highest score. That would be my guess.
I took it once as a junior. I got a 1240 and decided I didn't need to take it again, which is not a great score, but it's good enough to get me a scholarship. So yay me.
Yeah.
Aaron hit us with that 1600.
What's that?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I don't remember. It was started with a 13. I don't remember what the last 2 digits were.
Nice.
The math kind of hosed me. But every year, my friends and I get together and we joke about doing a fantasy football league. And instead of the forfeit being eating a lot of pancakes, it'd be the loser has to take the SATs.
I really like that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think would be a lot of fun.
At any age? Like, is that allowed?
All you got to do is sign up and pay the $80 or whatever it is, and you can sit in some high school cafeteria and have a proctored SAT
All right,
test.
Yep.
Bob, I know you're listening. If you ever want to go head to head, I'll do that. So Bob took his SAT in the 11th grade and didn't like the score. He got a fine score, but he didn't like it. So he took it again as a senior and got a 1240.
Mm-hmm.
And so me doing the same
tired.
test as a junior as a 1240 is like, you know what? Good enough. He took it twice to get this. I don't need to do it again.
Oh, it's so bad. I hate that test so much.
Mm-hmm. That's what makes it awful. It's like
What did you get, Nick?
6.
Like a 14 something. He's like C minus.
Yeah.
I forgot to put my name at the top, so I got a 1460.
Yeah, it sounds about
Nice.
right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
God, we're a bunch of nerds in here.
perfect math and 660 verbal.
Yeah.
I can't believe you remember that.
I had perfect verbal and terrible math.
It's a numbers thing. It's something that's stuck in there forever.
That's fair. Someone asked me recently when I got on the LSAT, and I'm like, I don't even remember taking the LSAT. I know I did, but I couldn't tell you.
I remember taking the ASVAB. Did y'all take the ASVAB?
Oh, dude, I aced the ASVAB.
What was the ASVAB?
They wanted me to go into spy. Beep. They're like, oh, good. You can figure things out. We want you to do this.
The military battery exam.
Yes.
I don't remember taking the SVAB in high school, but I did have to take it, I think, before I enlisted. But I was 24, and I was like, I knew what I wanted to do. The SVAB I was like, I don't care. This is a joke.
Yeah.
I did really well on the SVAB.
Yeah,
I remember
Said,
taking this.
I don't want to be in the military.
You know what? Has anybody ever done badly on the ASVAB? Like, did somebody take it in the military? It's like, no, we don't want you.
Oh, there's plenty of infantry grunts out there. Yeah.
Right, but they still take them. You're calling them infantry grunts because they're in the military. I'm not saying that they didn't do well.
Right, but I think you do have to take the ASVAB to even get in. Like, if you just go and enlist, you still have to take it.
Yeah, okay. Nick, infantry is where you end up if you don't do well on the ASVAB.
Right.
Exactly.
You don't get a job. You get a gun and go shoot.
Right, but is there a level where they're like, no, not you?
No.
Or do they always take you?
No, yeah. I don't think it's a pass-fail.
Right.
I would suspect if they didn't take someone, and Happy Veterans Day, everybody, it would be because...
it is Veterans Day. How about that?
Yeah.
Come on.
We're recording this on Friday morning of Veterans Day Observed. I feel like the people they don't take, like Kelly kind of said, is that if you score high enough, it's like, we can't do to you what we need to do to you to get you to do what we want. So please go somewhere else.
To go work for the CIA.
Right.
No, I distinctly remember the recruiting efforts ramped up after the ASVAB, and it was legitimately like, we want you to go into whatever. I don't even, they shouldn't pick me because I can't even remember the word for it, but like code breaking kind of stuff.
Seems like somebody who did so well on the ASVAB would remember that word.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, obviously I cheated. What is an LSAT, by the way?
It's to get into law school.
Get into law school.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like
we had the GMAT.
No, that's graduate school.
For us, graduate MBA, business school. That's
Right.
that's what I'm comparing it to.
Yeah.
GMAT's graduate school, right? Medical school is the MCAT.
Yeah.
So why did you say no? That's exactly the comparison I was trying to make.
It's an analog. It's a different. Never mind.
He thought he
The
was saying,
GMAT is a literal different test.
Yes, it is.
That four different.
That's why I said the
to you.
word like. It's like the GMAT.
Round 2, question 2. Category is colors that end in purple. What nightshade is so purple that its name in French is also a shade of purple? I'm looking for that French name. It is technically a berry, but when it is used in cooking, it is thought of as a vegetable.
Yeah, we can stop texting me that. We can lock in.
Okay.
This isn't fair since she speaks French.
So, Brian, I'm thinking tomatoes are nightshades, and tomatoes are related to eggplants, and eggplants are nightshades, and eggplants are purple. So if we don't get a better answer, eggplant should be our answer.
All that sounds really good. I don't have any contribution to this question. So
oh no,
I agree with your logic there, and all that makes sense, and I would follow it wholeheartedly. I didn't realize eggplant was part of nightshade.
It is definitely, yes.
Okay.
I randomly found 2 eggplants in a McDonald's parking lot when I was traveling like a couple of years ago. They were like propped up on a railing outside. And I was like, is this a trap? Like, am I going to go inspect this eggplant and somebody's going to grab me?
Welcome to being female. We get eggplant offers all the time.
It was very
Sometimes
weird.
they even offer, so you just get unsolicited eggplants. So, yeah, I'll agree with you, John. We can lock that in there.
Well, I don't want to lock it in yet. I want to think about it.
Okay, well, then.
What nightshade is so purple that's name in French is also a shade? I don't know. You don't know any French? You don't know the name of any French vegetables?
No. But, I mean, looking at the question, I could see that eggplant, like if that it could be technically a berry because how it grows. But, right, the eggplant, Parmesan, all that, like it's as a vegetable. I mean, all that seems to make sense.
Yeah. All right. We'll say eggplant.
So I am looking for the French word.
What? Give me the name in French, please. The very last line.
Oh, God, beep.
I also said it.
Okay. So I got to make up a name for eggplant then. Okay.
Sure.
In French, please, with the correct pronunciation.
Yes. We're going to say...
And the accents have to be on the right letters.
Well, egg in France is ouve or ove or something like that. So we're going to say ouverple.
Okay.
Because the category.
I understand. I don't know how to spell that for the answer sheet, so I'll figure that out. Nick and Kelly, tell me what you guys...
So it's funny because it's only Americans that call it an eggplant. Every other country, even when speaking English, uses the French word for it, which is aubergine.
Yep.
That doesn't rhyme with Urple.
No, but it's a shade of purple.
Right. I call foul because Kelly spends half her time overseas anyway, so...
But the funny thing is our chat is just Kelly texting me a bunch of eggplants, which is exactly like our one-on-one chat. There's no difference.
I send all the unsolicited eggplants.
Yeah.
I appreciated you letting me into that conversation. Round 2, question 3 category is labels. If you're holding a product and the packaging has a U in a circle on it, what does that tell you about the product?
Yeah, that's it. Locked in.
Oh, no. Okay. Brian, what do you think about unclean?
If you're holding a package that has a U.
A U with a circle around it. I think this has to do with inspection of some sort. Like there's a company or a government entity called some set of 2 or 3 words that starts with a U.
Okay, so what I was thinking was like underwater laboratories, but I thought that was usually UL. But they may have changed it to U.
I might be thinking of that.
But you're usually seeing that on what?
Underwater lavatories. Expand on that for me.
Laboratories.
Oh, laboratories. Okay, that's an entirely different thing. I get the second one. Never mind.
All underwater is lavatory, Nick.
That's why I was confused.
But I mean, normally that's like on electronics and stuff, and I mean that's still a product. And my mind just went to food, but food, it doesn't have to be food.
I don't think I know the UL, and that is what I was thinking of. I don't think I've ever seen, or I don't think I've ever noticed a U with a circle around it.
I just had an idea.
What's your idea?
Could the U with a circle, and I don't know this, but Could that mean that it's kosher?
I was just about to throw out kosher as an option. I don't know why.
I feel better about that than the UL rating because I think it is an L. You want to go with kosher? That seems like it could be it.
Well, let's have that as a backup answer. Is there any other markings? Like clothes have a lot of markings, but those are typically about handling and care. Could it mean unwashed? Like I made a joke about unclean, but there are clothes that are pre-washed and there's clothes that are unwashed, maybe?
Could. I hate that product is so vague.
And notice that it's on the packaging. So it's not saying it's on a label. It's not saying it's on a tag, rather. It's on the packaging. So the bag something comes in as opposed to the product itself.
Right.
There's no packaging for clothes. So unwashed or washed is probably bad. Why don't we just go with kosher since that is a thing that people would need to know? It could be another allergy, like a nut allergy or something. But usually wouldn't that just be the word that says there's nuts in this?
Right. That's what I think. Yeah. Let's just go with kosher and I think that I'm not going to get away from that, I don't think, unfortunately.
All right, we'll say kosher. We'll say the product is kosher.
Nick and Kelly, tell me how that affects your strategy going forward.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that we should just never lock in an answer because
definitely
we
not.
also said kosher.
Yeah. Plus, the idea of our chat.
When I saw the question, I was already thinking kosher.
You're literally winning. What are you worried about?
Oh, no, we're not worried. We just want to win by more. Also, the idea of our chat being nothing but eggplants and nuts emojis going through the whole thing just makes it unbearable.
Enjoy your day.
Your answer is kosher. Good job to everybody.
Good Lord, Brian. Well done.
Nice job. Yeah. After 2 rounds, Kelly and Nick have 60, Bryan and Jonathan have 50, but that's okay.
Why is it kosher? Like, why is the U with the circle the symbol for that?
Like, what does the U stand for?
Yeah, why wouldn't it just have a big K?
Because it's probably not.
Maybe a transliteration thing. Nick,
That's why I'm asking.
Googling it.
Yeah, I am Googling it.
I took Greek, not Hebrew, so I can tell you.
It's Hebrew, and I don't know.
It's actually not a U in a circle. It's an O and a U, standing for Union of Orthodox Jewish Congregations of America, otherwise known as Orthodox Union, or OU. Oh, so it's not a U in a circle; it's an OU.
Well, it is a.
I get it. It's a U in a
the
circle.
O is around the U.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing my job for me on the back end.
Not a problem.
Round 3, question 1. Category is S words. What is the 13-letter S word?
SARMS.
I get it. What is the 13-letter S word that means sparkling or shining brightly and is related etymologically to a word meaning a tiny spark?
Yeah, No.
I like it, Brian.
I had a count. I think that's it.
I think I'm double checking. God, every time I look at it, I count a different number. My eyesight's really bad.
13, yeah.
I counted 13 every time, so.
Yeah, let's go with that. Lock it in.
Okay.
You can Kelly talk it out.
No.
Okay.
So we locked in. We gave you the option to talk. This is what you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
No, they didn't want us to do well. That's not part of their plan.
Yeah, no, you definitely didn't do it.
You got too many parts to your plan.
Etymologically meaning tiny spark. Sparklet. Sequin.
I'm trying to think of long words. That's probably not the way to go. Because the only thing that comes to mind is saccharin. That's not even close to 13 letters.
All I have in my head is septuagenarian. Like she said S word, and that was what came in. And I was like, all right, 70-year-old person. I'm thinking like stars, but that's Astra.
Sanctimonious or sanct is saint.
Is
it would be scintillating. Scintillating?
Hang on, let me spell it.
Is that 13 letters? Scintillating.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I like
12,
that.
13.
I like
Scintillating.
that. There you
Yes.
go. I like that one.
Scintilla, I think, is a tiny spark.
There you go.
We're going to lock in with scintillating.
I enjoyed that. Jonathan, Brian, did you enjoy that?
Scintilla is definitely going to be the next name of my D&D character for me. I think that's an amazing name.
Tiny
for
spark.
D&D. That's
so
fantastic.
Really
a fire mage of some sort.
Really, I'm thinking we should not allow Nick to talk.
I
Don't do
mean,
this
that
to me,
goes without saying.
That's fair. That's
So
fair.
just the whole game from now on is Erin going, all right, it's been 5 minutes. Somebody say something.
Yes.
I was thinking scintillating as you're reading the question. When you said sparkling, that's what I thought of. I don't know what the connection was, but you said scintillating.
It's a good thing you did because that is the answer. How about round 3, question 2? Category is art.
Art.
Kind of. The most common oil used in an oil-based paint comes from what fiber crop? In addition to its oil, the plant is used in common textiles, and the seeds can also be ground into meal or used in fancy smoothie bowls.
Hey, Erin, can we use props as answers? Like if I go get some and hold it up on camera.
I'm so uncomfortable with that question.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
You know this is an audio
Should
medium,
we
right?
take
Okay.
that
I
as
get
you
it, yeah.
locking in?
Yeah, we're locked in.
All right. Brian, so acai bowls, ACIA, are big popular down here. I assume they're big popular everywhere, but I actually had one for the first time earlier this year, and I was very surprised to find that it was a half frozen thing. It's like you can add all this stuff to it, but on the bottom of it is essentially a frozen smoothie, which was very surprising to me. I had no idea what I was in for. I don't know if it fits the rest of the question, but if it's about things that are popular in smoothie kind of things, I would say acai.
Sure, we'll go with that.
All right, let's lock that in.
Okay. Kelly, Nick?
Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, it's the version of it I have in my house is not in the form of oil-based paints. It's in the form of a cleaning agent that you use to shine up like marble or granite, like a countertop or a marble like surround on a fireplace. It's linseed oil.
It is linseed or flax oil. Acai is a berry.
Oh,
You
I
don't
did
use
suggest flax, but I didn't think flax fit anything else with that.
Yeah, you can get flax seeds on fancy smoothie bowls.
We have some.
Right.
In the
I don't
making
know
cabinet
enough
in
about
our-
fancy smoothie bowls, obviously.
Yeah.
As Kelly refers to me, I have a peasant palate, so like I don't.
Yeah.
This is where Kelly gets up, grabs the bag of flaxseed that's in your pantry, and sticks it on your desk, moving from camera to camera throughout the Skype call.
That would be charming. All right, round 3, question 3, category is science.
Science.
Voldemort Mordecai, who did not have autism as far as I know, was a Jewish bacteriologist who was kicked out of Russia for refusing to renounce his heritage. He is best known for the development of several types of what, which he tested on himself.
How specific do you want us to be?
You're good with the answer you have.
Like, but how good? Like, we're good or we're good?
Nick.
I'm gonna lock it in.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, okay. So, Brian, it's obviously related to something on autism, something related to that. Otherwise, there's no reason for the question or for the clue there.
Right.
Bacteriologist, best known for development of several types of what, which he tested on himself. I mean, drugs is probably not specific enough.
No, there was and I can't remember what the exact breakdown with. It's like a chlorinated water substance. After like 3 days, it just turns into water. But I remember a couple years ago, there was a lady who was feeding it to her kids, claiming that it cured autism.
Oh, what? So talk more about this.
I mean, it's like a bichlorine water mixture. We use it for cleaning. It cleans basically by its gas. It like offsets its gas. We clean it in a lot of our chemistry analyzers because it'll go through tubing, and it more cleans with the gas than the liquid. But after about 3 days, it turns back into just water.
I have an idea. Vaccines. Jenny McCarthy claimed that vaccinations give
There you go.
autism, and
Yep,
then
there you
some
go.
quack doctor validated it. I think it's
Yep.
I think it's just at that level.
Okay. Yep. That's good. I like that. That's much better than I think I was thinking like too specific.
Yep.
Yeah. I like the vaccines. Yep.
All right, we're going to go with vaccines.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nick and Kelly and I are
locking in another
discussing.
question.
Yeah.
Guys,
and I are discussing
I can
books
come
we're
up with right answers whether I talk or not. I swear I can just mute myself and talk. I wasn't even talking. Brian was talking.
It's true.
Anyway.
I have a whole book.
What are you doing?
She's
I'm
looking
right
for
here.
props.
Oh my God.
I
You
am
should
a-
give her a library and now she's going to use it.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Whole book, and now I can't find it. Anyway, the book is called Unmasking Autism. There it is. See, Unmasking Autism. And you know what it doesn't talk about in here? Vaccines. Because vaccines don't cause autism. Thank you very much.
There you
But I
go.
think that is the answer to this question.
Yeah, it is. Yay.
Woo.
Good pull, Jonathan.
After 3 rounds, Kelly and Nick have 90. Bryan and Jonathan have 70. Moving into the midpoint. Your midpoint category is before and after. You guys know I love these. I'm going to give them all to you and then paste them all in the chat. Nick is shaking his head. This is the best day ever. All right.
You know how bad I am at these. Like
I
my
do, but I
brain
think Kelly
doesn't
can-
function.
You don't
that way.
miss them. Why are you complaining?
I have never gotten one ever.
That's not true.
Erin has done whole rounds of this where my partner is like, it's this. And I'm like, if you say so, like after I got the answer, I still don't understand it.
Which is truly remarkable. I really enjoy
My
watching
brain
this.
will not parse the before and afters. It shuts off. I can't do it.
All right, hold on. I'll change one thing.
With that vote of confidence, okay.
Yeah, it's not like this is all on you or anything, but literally I look at these questions and my brain goes, nope, and just goes off somewhere else.
Sarah, around like 7 p.m. every night, you should give Nick a paper with 5 before and afters on it, and that will shut his brain off and he'll be quiet
really
for the
does.
rest of the evening.
She just opens the Kindle and the sound fades away.
Yep.
She finds him an hour later just eating the paper. Right? Number 1.
With the glue and a spoon.
The latest installment of a first-person shooter video game that began in 2001 with dialogue written by David Foster Wallace. 2. A 1300s epidemic that was not the reason for Willie Loman's demise. 3. Gunsmoke hero Matt Dillon tells the bad guys to get lost and also to embrace the 5 rules of a playground sport. And 4, a Deep Purple song used as background music for a popular interrogation technique. I'm putting that in scare quotes, even though this is an audio medium.
That was exactly what I was thinking. So I'm fine with that. That actually might predate 2001, but I'm fine with it because I don't have a better answer.
Gonna need answers pretty soon. Nick and Kelly, you locking in with those?
Yeah. We're not gonna play any better.
All right. Bryan and Jonathan need some answers.
Well, 2 is Black Death of a Salesman. 3, we think, is Get Out of Dodgeball. 4, we think, Dodge City, I think, might be the setting.
5 rules. There are 5 rules of dodgeball.
I never saw the movie, but if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Yeah, the 5 rules are duck, dive, dip, dodge, something, and dodge. Duck,
Okay,
dive, the 5
great.
Ds, yeah.
And then the Deep Purple song, we got Smoke on the Waterboarding. The thing that we're struggling with is truly, I cannot remember who David Foster Wallace is or what they have done. And so it's like, this is probably Call of Duty Modern Warfare. That means it's going to be fair something, and we have absolutely nothing. What's the other big first-person shooter war game? There's 2 big ones. Call of Duty's one of them, and then there was the Tom Clancy Rainbow Six Ghost Recon stuff, but then there was one more that was very popular. Battle something, I think. I can't remember.
Yeah, I honestly don't know.
Probably that one that we're not getting. So we're going to say Call of Duty Modern Warfare Play.
Yeah,
So,
2
yeah.
and 4.
2 and 4, same.
Black Death of a Salesman, Smoke on the Waterboarding. Yep.
Yep.
I couldn't come up with dodgeball, and neither could Nick, apparently.
No.
But Nick proposed
So-
ring around the mosey. So that's what we had.
I was like,
For-
she gave us the character name, so this has to be something he would say to mean
Right.
leave.
Yeah, I
Right.
couldn't come up with a cowboy way to say go away.
I thought Mosey was good in a childhood's great game. Ring
Get out
around the
of
Mosey. Nailed it.
Yeah.
Call of Duty would have been a good one. I also couldn't remember David Foster Wallace.
I know his name.
We went with Resident Evil Dead because I also couldn't remember who wrote Evil Dead.
Right.
Okay.
So
Have
our
fun.
answer was Resident Evil Dead.
Right. We discussed Halo. We discussed, a lot of different options, but we ended up with Resident Evil Dead.
Okay. Start with the ones y'all agreed on, Black Death of a Salesman and Smoke on the Waterboarding. The David Foster Wallace's most famous novel is Infinite Jest.
That's the guy.
And the most recent installment of the Halo
Infinite
franchise was Halo Infinite, so I need Halo Infinite Jest.
I didn't have either part of that question, Brian.
Mm-mm. None of you did. Comedian Jamie Loftus did a whole series or a performance art thing where she ate a page of Infinite Jest every day. Kind of interesting. I would
Did she call it Infinite Digest?
I don't know. Maybe.
Because that's a good name.
It's right there, yeah. And then the last one, and I'm going to get some pushback, but I don't care. I was looking for get out of dodge, duck, dip, dive, dodge, because I did call out the five rules of a playground sport in the game. So Ring Around the Mosey made me chuckle, but I was looking for get out of dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. So after the midpoint, Kelly and Nick have one.
I agree wholeheartedly with your scoring.
Yeah.
So hold on, though.
I needed the 5 rules.
Did you really? Because with before and afters, it's never clear exactly what you're looking for, but you do say of a playground sport, which would indicate that the second half is the playground sport.
5 rules.
There was no way for us to know that you wanted all 5 rules in the answer.
Right, but Dodgeball does embrace the 5 rules.
Personally, Aaron, I would give them credit, but I totally get where you're coming from and think that they should not get the point. You stand strong. Don't let them talk you into something you don't want to do.
Okay, because I have to pee and my cats are hungry, I'm going to give it to you. We're at 85 to 100. Cool? Okay. Round 4, question 1, category is literature. Coyotito was the infant son of Kino, the protagonist of what 1947 John Steinbeck novella. Kino finds a valuable thing while at work, and it ultimately leads to the downfall of his family. About 90 seconds.
I totally missed that very important piece of information in the question. Entirely. All right, we're locked in.
Cool.
So Mice and Men, Grapes of Wrath, East of Eden. Mice and Men is Lenny and whatever.
George.
Grapes of Wrath is the Jode family, but it's neither of those for sure. East of Eden, I don't know anything about.
I don't know this. I mean, I only know the movie version. I mean, it's Cain and it's the story of Cain and Abel and like the fall. But the son finds out, like, they come from a very religious family, but the son finds out who the mother is. She like lives, or she's a madam at a brothel house, and he goes to find her.
I know it's not. I know it's not grapes or mice, so I would say East of Eden, and I'm sure it's wrong.
But yeah, that's the only one I know. But yeah, I like I said, but the movie could differ from the book. But that's the only other one I know.
All right, so we'll say East of Eden.
So
Nick and Kelly.
East of Eden is a full-length novel, not a novella. It's huge.
Yeah,
like
sure.
You could beat somebody to death with it.
Yeah, they all are.
We also said the exact same things, though. East of Eden, Grapes of Wrath, that's Steinbeck, right? Mice and Men, that's the wrong one. But
and then yeah, the only other thing I know that's associated with Steinbeck, and it's because of my Shakespeare knowledge, is the Winter of Our Discontent. I've never read it. I've never seen it. I've never done anything with it. But Erin apparently loves that answer.
I do.
Did you just heart emoji in their open conversation?
I did. Yeah, they've locked in.
Right, yeah, we were first.
Skype is on my top screen, and I was trying to click something on the tab on my bottom screen, and I fucked it up.
I thought you were just a big Reality Bites fan.
Big
right.
fan.
So yeah, the Winter of Our Discontent was the only other thing that there's those 3 novels, and then Winter of Our Discontent are the only 4 things that I associate with Steinbeck, and I cannot give you any additional information about any of his other works.
Yeah, evidently. So what I was trying to do was open a new tab so I could look up what is the Winter of Our Discontent.
So probably not the right answer then.
It's not the right answer, no. It was his final novel published in 1961. What I was looking for was a short story published in 1947 about a pearl diver who finds a giant pearl and it destroys his family. Spoiler alert.
You were so close, Jonathan, off your guess.
You know what really hurts? I had a guess. I said, what if it's something like The Diamond or whatever?
You were close.
And I, honest to God, was like, the pearl is a valid guess, but that's a different writer. I thought, here's what just happened for me. My brain mixed things up, and I said it can't be the pearl because that's Pearl Buck. No, Jonathan. Pearl is her name, not her story.
Yeah.
And I absolutely could have gotten that right and did not. It was just really painful.
Is Of Mice and Men a short story?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think it's a full.
It is considered a novella.
That's what I thought. It's
Of Mice and Men is a novella.
Shortest.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, neither of y'all guessed it. But.
I always say
It's at the
Lenny and
used bookstore.
Squiggy.
It's not Lenny and Squeaky. It's
Not
George,
Squeaky.
George and Lenny.
George.
Okay, George.
That's right.
Yeah, and the only reaon I associated it all is because of the Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Because of the big hairy monster.
An entire generation of people whose touchstones for literature and opera is Bugs Bunny.
That's correct.
It's good.
Yes.
Warner Brothers did right by us. Round 4, question 2. Let's get this back on track. Category is the law. The 1963 landmark case Gideon versus Wainwright isn't quite as sexy as some of the other big name cases, but it is important enough that it is almost always referenced in a roundabout way at least once on every episode of every police procedural ever filmed. What right did the Supreme Court enshrine in their decision in Gideon versus Wainwright?
Kind of like that. You want to lock that in?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, we'll lock in.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure it's one of the Mirandized read rights, because that shows up in every procedural crime drama.
Yep.
And so you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed for you.
Right. So, coin flip. Trying to narrow down the odds of that. The right to remain silent is tied to the Fifth Amendment and the right to not incriminate yourself. And there was a Supreme Court decision in the... Was it a Supreme Court decision? It says landmark case. I just assumed Supreme Court.
But yes, it is.
Oh, no, it did. What right did the Supreme Court enshrine? So at the end, it said Supreme Court. Gideon versus Wainwright was something that was a case, so it was something that was added to that. So the right to remain silent is first. This is second. Then again, if it's an amendment right, maybe that's why it made it all the way to the Supreme Court.
Gonna need an answer in about a minute.
Because maybe it wasn't clear enough.
Right. So they were codifying it.
I still think right to an attorney.
Okay, let's go with that.
Okay, so we're gonna go in the right to an attorney.
Okay. Bryan and Jonathan?
So that was my first gut, right? But
Right, we talked about that, but that's enshrined with Miranda versus, I think it was Arizona. And I think
the Miranda rights were their own case.
Right.
So then we were trying to think of what other things are referred to in every episode. And Bryan thought about warrant, which, okay, like a requirement for a warrant, but I thought that was there for a while. And then I came up with phone call. I want my phone call. In everything you've ever arrested, anybody's ever been arrested has the expectation that they are allowed one phone call, and that came from somewhere. Don't know if it was this, but it sounded like it could have been. So we said phone call, the right to a phone call.
Okay.
I don't think you actually have the right to a phone call.
Not with the Patriot Act. It depends on what you're charged with.
So I would tell you, I also don't know if you have the right to a phone call.
Well, beeps. You would know if it was right.
She's a divorce lawyer.
Yeah. You guys got me kind of digging back to like plain English this. So the Miranda versus Arizona, that case, it's the Miranda warnings do come from that case, but that case has to do with what the police can do to you and what they can ask you once you're in a custodial interrogation. You have to be advised of these rights before they can ask you questions that are then admissible at trial. So it's actually kind of an evidentiary case more than a rights case. The foundational question in Miranda, however, was the right to an attorney, which was enshrined later in Gideon v. Wainwright when the courts found that, yes, that is something that you have a right to under the Sixth Amendment.
Good choice, Kelly.
Well,
sorry, Jonathan, I led you away from that one.
Yeah,
it's all right. I didn't know.
A friend of mine, I met her when she was a public defender, and she has the case site for Gideon v. Wainwright tattooed on her arm, which is kind of cool.
That's cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like creative tattoos like that.
Yeah.
A lot of states have laws giving right to a phone call after an arrest, but not all do. It is not a constitutional right.
Yeah, not Supreme Court.
That being said, they cannot hold you incommunicado. You have to be able to talk to a lawyer, talk to somebody. Like if you ask for a lawyer, they have to get you a lawyer.
Mm-hmm. Kind of. There's actually a whole line of completely bullshit cases that say things like in Virginia, I think it was the Supreme Court or the Court of Appeals recently in the last year or two upheld a case where the guy was being held and he said, shouldn't I have a lawyer? And the court held that was not requesting a lawyer under, it's a whole hairy mess.
Wow, that's getting really problematic.
Yeah, there's also weird things with espionage cases that you can't submit any evidence to the contrary. It's illegal. It's unconstitutional.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can't defend yourself.
Yeah, it's messy and it's gross and I don't like it. But anyway, moving on. Round 4, question 3, category is Grandma's Candy Bowl. At the time of its closure in 2018, what geographically named candy company was the oldest candy company in the country, the United States? Many of their brands, like Squirrel Nut Caramels, Sweethearts, and the candy that bears their name, were acquired by other companies.
Oh, no.
I feel pretty good about that.
Okay, John. Yeah, you answered the question I was about to ask you. Okay.
Okay, we'll lock in.
Cool.
What?
Kelly?
What? A squirrel nut?
Squirrel
No.
nut zippers.
We always-
Squirrel nuts. Okay.
Yeah, we always call them squirrel nut zippers instead of squirrel nut
Right.
caramels. Were Sweethearts a Brock's candy? But I thought that was named after a person.
Brock's. I believe Brock's is named
R-A-C-H.
after. When I think Grandma's candy jar, I immediately think Werther's, and that's Carabelle's.
Right.
But I don't know if it's like Werther's, Wisconsin, or whatever it is. But I think Werther's is still around, right?
Yeah, they still have their own thing.
So I immediately thought the what was it? The company that made. What is this awful candy that tastes like chalk that
Necco
nobody
wafers?
likes? Necco wafers. The company Necco. The company that make Necco wafers, I know went out of
Yes.
business.
It's
And
Necco
recently, in like the last 5 years.
because candy hearts are made by Necco. They taste the same.
Right, and they're the same chalky, awful candy that nobody likes.
I like Necco.
Yeah, that's my guess.
Yep. I like that.
Okay, we'll lock in with Necco.
Man, y'all suck.
All right, Brian Jonathan.
Kelly, you should know that from your sister-in-law.
I'm not allowed to talk about Necco wafers with Rachel. She choked on one, and now it's like
Wow.
it's a whole thing in the family.
So NECO, I believe, stands for Northeast Candy Company.
Oh.
That's the geographical part. So we said NECO.
I forget if it's Northeast or New England. I'm too lazy
It
to
might be
Google
New
it, but it
England
is
now
Necco.
that you say it. I
Yeah.
think you're probably
Whatever.
right.
The answer is right. Necco. Chalky candy.
It's funny, Erin, you looked up, and on my screen, Jonathan's thing is right above yours, so it looked like you were looking up and talking to him.
You're Brady bunching it.
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah, you guys are on my screen up here, so I'm always staring up. All right, after 4 rounds, Kelly and Nick have 120. Brian and Jonathan have 95.
120 is a good score after 4 rounds. I'm very happy with where we are.
I'm glad to hear that. Round 5, question 1. This category was written by Rob Kruger, and the
Thank you,
category
Rob.
is marketing
Thanks, Rob.
history. Yeah, he doesn't listen. He wrote this question years ago when we hosted together. The tone of this is Rob. Diamonds Are Forever is absolutely something that the De Beers mining conglomerate, would say. Name the British imperialist, businessman, and politician who played a dominant role in southern Africa in the late 19th century and went on to found the De Beers Corporation and also probably the blood diamond industry.
I assume his name isn't De Beers. I really want a Saturday Night Live skit where they have a bunch of rich guys around doing De Beers, 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 De Beers. Yeah, I'm fine, dude. This is straight guest territory, and that seems like a fair one.
I think we need a larger group of people on this show instead of just a whole group of people having exactly the same conversation separately.
I am tremendously bored.
I was just trying to think through that last message you sent, but I can't come up with. Yeah.
We're locked in.
All right. So, yeah, we don't know. I truly thought De Beers was the name of the guy.
Yep.
But maybe he's Dutch or something. So we were like, well, we don't know. So what do we know? Well, maybe they named another jewelry company after this person. Like, there's lots of people who have something named after their first name and their last name, or just 2 different versions of their name. So we tried to name jewelry companies, and we're pretty bad at that too. But we finally settled on the astoundingly wonderful answer of K. So Mr. K, or Mrs. K, did it say he? I don't know. One of the famous K folks from England, apparently.
I believe it's Jared K is his full name.
Probably. Jared Sales K. Yes.
Exactly.
The problem was he started the question with Diamonds Are Forever. I instantly went Bond, and I had so much
Never got
trouble
off
coming
it.
off of James
Sorry.
Bond.
10 points to Orange Cat.
Wait, we haven't given our answer.
Beep.
I was due.
Although apparently we're not going to do well with what we locked in with.
You knew that, though.
I have a feeling that we're not right on our guess, Kelly. Don't ask me where I get that from.
I don't
But
know.
Okay, shut up and give your answer.
yeah, so Kelly said, I don't know, it's probably some sort of British, the British version of Rockefeller or Carnegie or whatever. And I just named the only British industrialist I could think of from right around that kind of era. We assumed that he took his money out of the chocolate game and put it into strip mining.
Did you go with Wonka?
We went with Cadbury.
Cadbury.
Oh,
Cadbury egg in response to the Fabergé egg.
Right.
Yes.
I like Wonka as an answer.
So now I'm going to tell you. 10 points to Orange Cat. So the De Beers name comes from the two Dutch settlers, Diederik Arnoldus de Beer and Johannes Nicholas de Beer, who owned a farm that they discovered diamonds on. And then the British forced them to sell the mine, which was eventually acquired by this person. I think it was Kelly, was like thinking about African geography and names in African geography. And you would have gotten there if you had thought about the profoundly racist state of Rhodesia, because the man who started De Beers was Cecil Rhodes. Okay, a lot of head shaking.
If I had just pulled that South African geographical path.
Don't know enough about African geography.
Oh, is Rhodesia, was
Named
that
after
the
him?
name of South Africa? Before South Africa? I thought
No.
it was a different place.
Yeah, Rhodesia, and I can never remember exactly where it was. I want to say, modern, what is now Zimbabwe and Zambia. It is a historical region in southern Africa that was demarcated by the British South Africa Company, and basically it was just a bunch of people that wanted to own slaves. It was a white nationalist state that doesn't exist anymore.
I only know the
Alleged.
dogs.
It was named after Cecil Rhodes. Is that who you said was the De Beers guy?
Yeah, Cecil Rhodes is the De Beers guy. Yep.
Yeah. So it is named after him.
Yep. He was not a good dude. And now you know about him.
What was that's one of the best line, like, what's something that feels distinctly British but isn't? Like the contents of the British Museum?
Yep. Yep. All right. Round 5, question 2 category is head in the clouds. What is the name for the dense, towering vertical cloud associated with thunderstorms and heavy precipitation, which apparently Sarah just got hit by? They are typically formed beneath 20,000 feet and are sometimes referred to as thunderhead clouds.
Yep, that's one of the 3 that I know. Go for it.
Did you lock in?
Are you confident in that, Jonathan? That's
Well, I'd like to talk about it. Are y'all locking in? You said go for it.
No, we're not locked in.
They're both typing things poorly.
You're poorly typing things.
Nope.
Go for it.
Okay, we're locked in.
Okay, so I'm going to say things as if I know them. This is what I think is a true. What I'm going to say is what I think is true. It may be incorrect. Okay.
okay.
But I remember elementary school learning cumulus clouds, stratus clouds, cirrus clouds, and remembering each one of those, right? And the stratus clouds are the rain clouds. But stratus clouds are wide, flat, heavy clouds that are low to the ground, and they cover a wide area like a blanket. And that's where where a lot of rain comes from. But I remember learning more about tornadoes at one point and discovering that there is a different kind of cloud which goes really, really high, which would be towering, and is white and puffy on the top, but stormy on the bottom. And I think the name of that cloud is a cumulonimbus cloud. And that's why I think cumulonimbus is probably the answer that she's looking for.
Right, and I was finished typing. Can't spell it right, but the cumulus, I think, are the big white,
Cumulus
big white
are the big white fluffy clouds.
Right.
Cumulonimbus are different.
Right, and I thought and we went through all this. I remember we had to, when I was in the Navy, we had to give weather reports all the time, like what kind of cloud cover there were when we were periscope depth. And I thought that even nimbus was a type of cloud. So, that would make sense that it was this combination of what you're saying. I think that's it.
Yeah, I don't remember nimbus as its own, but I don't have great knowledge of this. I just have literally what I've just shared is pretty much the extent of what I hope is good knowledge.
That's pretty extensive knowledge.
Yeah, I would agree with you, John. I would go with that.
Nick, that extensive knowledge includes cirrus clouds or the horsey tails. That's the kind of knowledge we're dealing with. All right, so we're going to lock in cumulonimbus.
Cool.
Yeah, exact same thing. The big, tall, puffy ones that are stormy on the bottom. We also went with cumulonimbus.
Big, tall, puffy in Latin is cumulonimbus. Good job.
Woo!
Points.
Yay!
All
That was exciting.
Nimbus clouds are there too. They're just rain clouds.
What's the difference between nimbus clouds and stratus clouds?
About 8 points in Scrabble.
Stratus clouds are the wispy ones that are low to the ground.
The big, heavy, gray blanket ones are stratus
Those
clouds.
are nimbostratus.
Oh, y'all have...
There's nimbus, there's stratus, and there's cirrus, and then there's every combination of Venn diagram.
No, this is that new knowledge. After elementary school, after I got out of school, they started adding names to beep.
Right,
Literally, there were 3 clouds when I was growing up. You took away a planet and you added 15 clouds.
You think there are 8 planets. You think there are 5 oceans.
Right. They added an ocean. Right.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about trivia people that non-trivia people just don't do is that when a question comes up that you don't know the answer to, we're all pulling at our phones and looking at it. Like normally, if I'd had this conversation, it would just be like, oh, I think it's this, and then we'd move on. But we don't do, yeah. How could you do that?
We don't move on. How do you not, like...
This is actually a wonderful relationship predictor as well. So I've been in relationships where people absolutely do not want to look it up and figure it out. And I find that relationships with people who have, like, you use a word and they're like, hold on, what does that mean? It's like, I think it means this, and then they're like, well, let me check, right? It's like, oh, thank you.
We need to find the language of origin.
Thank you. Yeah. That is the fact that you're like that, that's wonderful, because I'm going to do that to you.
That's Kelly's family. We'll all be together. Like somebody would say something, and it's like everybody's like looking at phones and like fact checking everything. Like every person's doing it.
I hate being in the conversation groups with all of you people where I'm just where I'm just constantly sitting there and like somebody will say something and I'm like, no, I didn't have to look that word up. Like
us people, Nick, you're included.
And I'm like, damn it, I did well on my SATs. Like I got a good verbal score and you're using words.
Apparently.
Right. And Zakiya is the worst. She's the worst because she uses all of these Spanglish words. Or that, like, right, they're not English and they're not Spanish, so I feel like I should recognize it in both languages, but I don't recognize it in either, and it drives me insane.
Most people appreciate friends that, like, elevate their mental game. Nick is just infuriated by it, and I love that.
Constantly infuriated. It's you know what? I love being elevated, but you know how much time it takes to look up every conversation you have with somebody to be looking up words?
I don't, because I already know most of those words.
Oh,
so that's
fine.
You problem.
You know what?
You love to be elevated right here, doctor? Right now.
I think Nick just inadvertently gave me my plans for the rest of this jury afternoon. I'm going to get elevated and play some video games. All right. There it is. Round 5, question 3. Category is Ape Tit Déjeuner. I went back to my Celebrity Jeopardy for this game.
Yeah.
In case it wasn't clear. Second breakfast is not a Tolkien invention. It appears in parts of Germany, Slovakia, Poland, Spain, and Hungary, as well as in The Magic Mountain and Buddenbrooks, which are novels by what German novelist and 1929 Nobel laureate?
You know what? I'm not even going to say that thought. I'm not even going to type that thought.
Proud of your restraint.
Just going to keep that one to myself.
We call intrusive thoughts. We don't say those out loud.
I was going to say, if only one of us worked in Germany on a regular basis.
All right, you. Shut your face.
He was Austrian. All right, pick one of those. Let's move on.
Okay.
We're not going to get it.
We'll lock in.
Nick and Brian, you got about a minute.
Nick and Brian aren't playing together.
Yeah, sorry. It's just white guys on my screen. Y'all look the same to me.
Dr. Seuss is later, and I don't think he ever did novels. The All Quiet on the Western Front was Remarque. I don't think that was written by a German. I don't think that person is German.
I was almost positive he was German.
Really?
Why would a French guy write about a German soldier? Like I'm almost because it was.
Yeah, but that book does not make the Germans look good.
It doesn't make the Germans look anything. It's all just written from the Germans. It's about the anti-war, but it's from the Germans.
It does make the Germans look like something. It absolutely humanizes, but also gives a lot of negativity towards it too. Remarque doesn't sound like a German name either.
It doesn't, but I thought it was about his. Because I thought that Remarque was in the war. I thought he was on the side of the Germans. I thought it was basically.
I don't know, man. Kafka seems more likely to me.
We can go with that. Like I have no basis. I mean, I don't know German authors.
Neither do I.
If you want to go with Kafka, we can. I don't know when Kafka when he was alive. If the years are right,
I feel like the years line up pretty well. My only fear is that Kafka might actually be Russian, but I think he's German.
Sure.
Gonna need an answer, folks.
Let's go Kafka, and I've been wrong more than once in this episode. So if I'm wrong, then that's my fault.
Okay,
we'll say Kafka. All
right, Nick and Kelly.
Eric Maria Remarque wrote All Quiet on the Western Front based on his Imperial German Army experience during World War I. Your correct answer is I have no clue.
We just listed a bunch of German names and ended up picking Schultz. also went down the pathway of, is Kafka Russian? But apparently he's Czech.
Oh.
Beep.
So he's Soviet.
So somewhere between German and Russian.
Right.
Yeah, so
Getting fact checked in real time.
Yeah.
So when I worked at a job years ago, and it was one of the worst jobs I've ever had, but there was this dude who worked there who I just was completely head over heels for because he was like nerdy and kind of weird, and that is my type. And he recommended this book, Magic Mountain, for me, and I have not read it because I bought it used, and I looked at it and I was like, God, there's so many words in this book. I can't handle this. But
it's like a conversation that Nick's listening in on. There's so many words I don't know these.
That's exactly what it is.
Too many words. But the author's name is Thomas Mann, or Thomas Mann.
Oh, I know Thomas Mann.
Man.
I know the name Thomas Mann.
Okay. Well, he didn't say it, so no points.
No, and at no point did it come up.
It did not for either
By
of
the
you.
way, I took some Magic Mountain earlier, and I'm getting very elevated.
After round 5, Kelly and Nick, 130. Bryan and Jonathan, 105.
I feel, Kelly, like we have slowed down significantly.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Orange Cat's catching up to you guys. Round 6, question 1. Category is, did they prefer whip, basting, or feather? Marlene Dietrich, Greta Garbo, and Dolores Del Rio are women believed to be part of what secret group of lesbian and bisexual actresses during Hollywood's golden age?
That was mostly a joke, Nick.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's a legitimate answer, I think. I don't...
What was the category?
Did they prefer whip, basting, or feather?
Oh, I got it.
I was just in the middle of typing the exact same
All right,
freaking thing.
We're locked in.
Yep, we're locked in.
I feel so good about that.
All right.
Yay!
So, Bryan, whipped, basting, or feathered, some kind of connection there that's going to lead to an answer. Whipped is, to me, a frosting. It's a cream. Basting is, basting. You baste a turkey. Basting is some kind of, like a cream you can rub on something. A baste you can rub on something, but feathered?
Right.
Pillows, feathered.
And I've heard
touches.
this somewhere with all my film history stuff, and I can't pull it. Whip and feather I can group together like with a crop, but basting's out. And I feel like the clue's in the category name.
Whip. Dole whip.
Got about a minute.
Feather. What other ways can feather be used? Feathered can be a paint style. Whip could be a sexual thing or a dominatrix kind of thing.
I am drawing a blank.
I was happy to go with my joke answer of the lesbos thesbos before this, but now you got me thinking about a category name.
Yeah.
That was my nickname in high school. You didn't answer.
Or an upside down pineapple.
I don't know, Bryan. The Frosting Crew, the Pillow Pals.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard it, but yeah, I
all great names for the episode, by the way.
I feel like I've heard it. I'm going to say maybe it'll come out and I've just never heard of it at all. But
all right, well,
I know I'm throwing a blank. So what are you?
We're going with the lesbos thesbos.
Sure.
Which is funny because my initial joke answer was the Sappahos. Yeah, we went back to the category, and Nick actually got the category.
Yeah, no, this is something that Sarah makes fun of me for because I actually know stuff about this and know how to do this. So whenever we have to do this in our house, I'm the one that has to manage it.
What is this,
we're talking about, Nick?
Yeah. A whip stitch is like a spiral notebook. A basting stitch is a temporary, like, attacking stitch. So you hold two things together while you're sewing it. And a feather stitch is your normal, like, up and down kind of thing. They are all sewing terms and types of stitches. So we tried to figure out the name for a group of women who sew. We came up with Sewing Circle. We do not know if that's correct, but we feel really good about putting that together.
And you should, because the answer is Sewing Circle.
Yes.
Wow, that's great. That's
That was fun
really
to watch.
great.
Yeah,
That's
Nice,
impressive.
Nick.
I'm really, really excited about that one. There's once every 5 or 6 episodes, I do something like that, and it makes me very happy.
It should. That's great.
It's kind of like gambling. Like you don't play for the hit of winning, you play for the hit of losing. But like those rare moments where I don't know where I'm going with this analogy because it doesn't actually work now that I'm vocalizing.
I do it
but
more like golf. I suck at golf, but every once in a while I'll hit a good shot, and that'll bring me
That's
back
it.
to the next round. Yeah.
Yep, that's just enough. Yeah, sorry, we just had a vote for whether they're going to put a casino in Richmond or not. So I've got casinos on the brain.
Mm-hmm.
It lost, by the way, which is great. Round 6, question 2, category is scandalous. At the end of 2001, biopharma company ImClone suffered a major stock drop when its drug Erbitux failed to get expected FDA approval. This sort of thing happens all the time, but in this particular case, it led to a scandal that landed what public figure in jail?
I'm fine going with that as our guess.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's right. That seems right.
Okay. I don't know if it seems right or not, but it's good enough for me. We'll walk in.
All right. So the joke answer that I wanted to give was Pee Wee Herman, because he was a huge investor and he lost a lot of money and he was feeling really sad about it. So he went to the movies to make himself feel better.
Oh, no.
But Kelly, if you think that this is 2001, I think it was before that. But yeah, it's insider trading. It seems like insider trading with it was supposed to get FDA approval, but it didn't. It was expected FDA approval. So Madoff is a good a guess as any, I think. I like your Madoff answer. I think that fits with conceptually what it is.
Yeah, it's the only thing I could think of is that somebody knew they weren't going to get approval.
No, somebody thought they were going to get approval and then did. Right. It went the way opposite of what the insider information said.
Yep. So we went with Madoff.
Yep.
We also said Madoff. The reason that we said it was the idea that his investing scheme was like a pyramid kind of situation. And so if something didn't do what it was predicting, then you couldn't pay the next group. You couldn't pay Peter with Paul's money if you didn't have the money. And so that could create a collapse of the whole thing. So we went with Madoff.
Right. And that, unfortunately, 2005 is such a black hole for me of things that went on then, because most of the time I was underwater.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's such a black hole.
You have a better excuse than most.
What, were you under a rock? Kind of.
All right. 10 more points to Orange Cat. So one of y'all said this in the chat. What else would a stock drop get you in trouble for? Well, if you sold off a bunch of the stock before it dropped unexpectedly, it might turn.
Is it going to be Martha Stewart?
It is going to be Martha Stewart. Yep. This is the scandal that landed Martha Stewart in jail.
I had Martha Stewart as my other answer, but I felt a lot better about Madoff. I thought Stewart was later. Damn it.
Nope. She didn't go to jail until later, but the actual incident was
right.
Yeah.
She went to jail.
Well, none of them would go. Even Madoff, I don't think, went to jail later. But like all that would take time to sort out and to case and all that's like.
I had it in my head as a possibility, but didn't even say it out loud.
Yep. Okay. Round 6, question 3, last question of regulation. It is the obligatory hockey question.
There we go. I was waiting for
it.
The first Vancouver hockey team was founded in 1911 and had what nickname? To be clear, for example, the nickname of the current Vancouver team is the Canucks. So I'm looking for the second half of their given name. It is a word shared by Jamal Malik, a type of caramel shortbread, and a 2017 Chris Stapleton song, but as of October 2023, not Taylor Swift.
Oh, wait. I love that we're both going to this through the Taylor angle.
That doesn't help me.
Of course, Kelly is.
Yeah. I feel now with two pieces of it, I feel much better.
Yep,
we're locked in.
If I'm going to get this, I would think I would get it from the Chris Stapleton angle, but it could be a deep cut. He did Traveler, he did Parachute, he did You Should Probably Leave. As of 2 weeks ago, not Taylor Swift. What the hell does that mean? Single? What happened 2 weeks ago? When was this written, Erin? Is this current?
Yeah, when I read it, I changed it to mid-October of 23 for posterity's sake, but I didn't change it in the paste. But yeah, it is as of now. Yeah, like recently.
As of recently, yeah.
Yeah.
So she's recently become a big Chiefs fan.
Right, with Trevor.
No.
Trevor Kelsey, or Kelsey, whatever his name is, Kelsey. Travis Kelsey.
Single.
And I know I've seen Vancouver's name in I cannot, but as of 2 weeks ago, not Taylor Swift.
No, as of mid-October, not Taylor Swift.
Okay.
That's about the time that the whole football thing started.
Right, yep.
About 90 seconds.
The Chiefless. I honestly don't know at all.
Yeah, I don't know. And this does make no sense. Like Scouts come to mind, but I don't even know how that would even play in. So yeah, I don't know.
Like Tagalong comes into mind because of caramel shortbread. I'm thinking of the Girl Scout cookie.
I wish I could remember who Jamal Malik is.
Yeah, I wish you could too.
I need an answer.
That's also when the Eras tour came out, or when the movie came out. But I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
You want to just say Traveler?
Sure.
All right, we'll guess Traveler.
Nick and Kelly, what did you guys say?
We got to this through the Taylor angle and the baking angle and have no idea on the hockey angle.
Yeah, I did. I was kind of surprised that Bryan didn't just pull out the hockey answer, but I went the exact same route that Jonathan did. Something single, I don't know. And Nick chimed in with Taylor was just named a billionaire, so she is no longer a millionaire, which is a kind of shortbread.
Yep.
And thinking,
and one of Sarah's specialties makes a great millionaire shortbread bar.
And thinking harder on it, Jamal Malik is the Slumdog Millionaire. So
there you go. So we went with millionaire.
There you go. Millionaire is your answer.
I didn't have any piece of any of the clues. I was never getting there. Oh God.
We just made shortbread millionaire bars like 3 weeks ago for a friend's birthday.
Never even heard of that.
Oh, they're so good. It's just like caramel and chocolate and shortbread. Like
it's a tag-along.
Like yeah.
Tagalongs are peanut butter.
Tagalongs are peanut butter, not caramel.
The caramel delights are.
Yeah. Caramel.
My bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Millionaire is a Chris Stapleton song that was certified triple platinum, was nominated for a bunch of stuff. Scores are 150 to 105. Your category is Best in Show.
Our wager's locked in.
All right, our wager's locked in.
Category is Best in Show. Number 1. Newfoundland and Dirty Linen are two plays that are always performed together. They are lesser-known works of what Czech playwright and screenwriter, who is probably better known for things like Arcadia, and for co-writing the screenplays for Shakespeare in Love and Brazil.
We are one brain in two bodies.
It really is sad. It really is. It's terrifying.
All right, we'll lock that in.
Yeah, we'll lock in that last name.
We're locked in.
Sure.
Okay. Question 2. What breed of canine was bred specifically to resemble the Chinese guardian lions known as foo dogs?
Okay, we can lock in.
We're locked in.
And question 3. The Victor Talking Machine Company was a record company and phonograph manufacturer that acquired Pan American rights to use a trademark image from a painting of a fox terrier listening to a gramophone. The dog trademark was shared with the British record company, whose unofficial name, His Master's Voice, is still in use today. What is the name of the dog?
All right. We're locked in.
Yeah, we'll lock in too.
Okay. Back to the top. Newfoundland and Dirty Linen are two plays that are always performed together. They are lesser-known works of what Czech playwright and screenwriter, Bryan and Jonathan. What did you guys say?
We spent a long time going through our extensive list of Czech playwrights, and we ended up looking at that paper for a while and wishing there was something on it.
Some way to narrow it down.
Yeah. We went with Johnson.
We almost went with Kafka, but yeah. No.
Same conversation.
Yeah.
You guys actually both said it at the exact same time. I have a screenshot of it, which I will send you in a minute. But yeah, you didn't say Kafka, Kelly. Nick, what did you say?
We were like, okay, check names. Kafka.
Right.
But I feel terrible because I can pretty much guarantee that if I look in the anthology of drama that's right here, it's in there for sure, because I know that I've read Arcadia and I don't remember who wrote it. So we just locked in with a Czech-sounding name of Novak.
Okay. What breed of canine was bred specifically to resemble the Chinese foo dogs, Kelly and Nick?
I know that the Chinese foo dogs are the inspiration for like the jade lion figurines that are commonplace in movie and other tropes. And we tried to think of Chinese dogs that look like that and ended up on Chow.
And Bryan and Jonathan?
I think the statues that Nick was talking about was right, but we said Sharpei. We came to it pretty quick.
Okay.
They got a more wrinkly face, kind of bigger bulk there.
Mm-hmm. And what is the name of the dog listening to the gramophone? Bryan and Jonathan, we'll start with you.
At the beginning of that question sounded like it was Victrola. The end of that question sounded like it was RCA. His Master's Voice, I don't know what the hell this is all about. I think the name of the RCA dog might be Spot, so we went Spot.
It better not be Ubu, though.
Ubu was Frisbee, not gramophone.
Yeah. Ubu's a black lab.
Kelly, Nick?
Yeah, we kind of went the same way. It's like dog names. Sure, the stereotype has to come from somewhere, so we went with Fido.
It's a stereotype. Get it?
Mm-hmm.
A stereotype.
Mm-hmm. Good job. Well, there is no way for me to build suspense here, so I'm just going to start with question 1. I took the name of his most famous play out of the question because I was worried that would make it too easy. And just to be clear, Nick in his discussion was like, these questions have been getting progressively easier. We're getting better at trivia. And I was like, LOL, a break glass in my emergency questions. I didn't actually do that. This is a set I had intended to play.
They have not been getting easier, Nick.
No, I mean, as a whole, the scores for Trivial Warfare episodes have been going up statistically. Right? We are getting smarter as a group. The Army is getting smarter. The scores are getting better. Not just this game. I was talking like in general.
Mm-hmm. Right. So the play that I left out that may have made this question easier that he is perhaps best known for is Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. The answer is
I thought that might be it, but I don't know that guy's name.
Tom Stoppard is his name.
I didn't know he was Czech. I know Stopper. I know that.
Did you know his name?
Yeah, I love that movie.
I literally thought about
I have
saying
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead right there.
Yeah.
I should have talked more because in my head I was like, this sounds like the guy who wrote Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Right. If you would have said that, I would have said it was. I knew it was Stopper, but I didn't know he was. I assumed he was English American, something like that.
Well, with a name like Stoppard, it doesn't immediately sound Czech. Yeah.
Right. There's vowels.
There's a sound clue in the question to that piece of information with Newfoundland and Dirty Linen. There's a pickup there where it's like, okay, that sounds like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. It's two things that are always done together. Those two words are always named together. So that was what made me think about that.
Mm. All right.
I'm just happy I knew a playwright. Even if it was wrong, I knew a playwright.
The dog breed that was bred specifically to resemble the foo dogs is the Pekingese.
Oh, crap.
Oh.
Peking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is going to be the most points to Orange Cat ever awarded.
Yeah, well, he bet it all, so he's finishing with a cool 90. This is another one of those that, like, I know this cold and I couldn't tell you why, but I don't have any gauge on how common this knowledge is. But the dog in the trademark, his name is Nipper. Okay, everyone's shaking their heads.
What's the name of the dog in the sunscreen? Does that the one that's biting the one that's biting the diaper?
No
I'm
idea.
assuming. He seems like a Nipper.
The Pekingese does look like the foo dog. I gotta be honest, it's fair.
It's genetic engineering at work. So that was a buzzsaw. Let's see what the wagers were. Kelly and Nick, you guys went in with
150.
150. Bryan and Jonathan, you guys had 105. Bryan and Jonathan, tell us what you guys wagered.
Bryan, this would have been the best time to wager 0.
Yeah, but
it's a good thing we wagered. No, we didn't. We wagered 105.
Yeah.
Yep. So Kelly and Nick, you guys, if you wagered 150, you will tie. What did you wager?
140. No, I'm kidding.
No. I actually put thought into a wager for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Because I knew that Nick was not going to be any help.
Right. We also thought that Bryan would think that we would think that he wouldn't think that we would think about it.
Fortunately, Bryan has spent a lifetime developing an immunity to iocane powder. What did you say?
Nick very helpfully said they won't go all in. No,
I said there's no reason to go all in. Why would they go all in?
So he said, your bet to pass us if we put 0 and got it right would be 46. So I said in order for us to beat 46, we would need to wager 2. So we wagered 2.
That means, according to the spreadsheet, that did its job more or less. With a final score of 148-0, your winners are Kelly and Nick. Yay.
Hooray.
Yay!
And there was much rejoicing.
Oh my God. Bryan, we could have done better.
Yeah, sorry, Jonathan. I feel like I let you down a lot there.
That was probably the most brutal gauntlet of that I can remember.
Okay.
Wow. Rub it in, dude. Jeez.
I second that.
All right. Well, before we go, we'd like to give everybody a chance to do shout outs and promote causes that they care about. Kelly, you are on the winning team. We will start with you.
So this is weird. Normally my shout out is always to my husband.
Oh, you can still do that.
Cool, but I'll do that anyway. Shout out to my husband, Bryan, for not only allowing, but also paying for me to turn our spare bedroom into a library. It's now my happy place, and he made it possible. So
yay!
And shout out to Bryan for finding that headphone, that headset you're using.
Yeah.
Solving the headphone problem. Thanks, baby.
Yes. All right. Bryan, over to you.
We'll just inverse that then, to Kelly for putting up with me, especially this past Tuesday for doing 11 movies in a row and vegging out on the couch all day.
There you go. That was actually the most romantic shout outs we've ever had.
It really was.
That was cute.
Love your spouse, guys. It's worth it, I promise.
That's a really good point.
Can I just say you, Nick, to balance this out?
Right.
Sure.
Sure.
I love you too, Erin.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that is going to wrap us up. So for Bryan and Kelly and Nick and Erin, see, Nick, I put you first. My name is Jonathan, and this has been episode number 454 of Trivial Warfare, where it's not just trivia, it's war.
It's war.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to Trivial Warfare. Be sure to check out the revamped TrivialWarfare.com as your one-stop shop to submit questions, join the community, and get access to over 150 archived episodes. Warm It Up was written and performed by Matthew Stevens. This episode was edited and produced by me, Joel Sharpton. For help with your podcast, visit ProPodcastingServices.com.
It's interesting that you did this week. So my birthday was this last Sunday, and one of the things that I asked for on my birthday was to watch Blazing Saddles with Sarah, who has never seen Blazing Saddles.
Ooh. Did she accommodate you?
She did, yes. It was a birthday present, so she was going to do it. And it was the end of a long day, and we were both tired, and that's a mistake. If you're already tired, you're exhausted, there's no funny movies are not funny, right? So, and I could tell because like at the very beginning, there were a couple of laugh out louds from her. And then slowly throughout the course of the movie, she just faded into silence and then faded almost into sleep by the end of it because she's just exhausted. And it's like, you can't keep up. You can't pay attention. But that was something where it's like, I wanted her to understand references that I make, which are just going to be shouted out at any given time, so that was funny that we did those two things in the same week.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Yeah.
For example.